Looks like Operation Protect My Melon in the Shade isn't going to work. So I'll get some sun. Oh, hi, good morning everybody. Gonna get some sun on my melon today, as usual, in beautiful downtown Kailua Kona. Once again, beat my background, hashtag Chef Chris, Executive Chef, Papa Kona Restaurant. Good morning everybody, happy Friday. So we're gonna go along with our pancake theme for Fridays. However, I'm gonna make a left turn. We're gonna go to a savory pancake. A lot of times people get locked in their little boxes of cooking. Of a pancake only can be sweet. No, it can be savory as well. So we're gonna do two varieties of savory pancake today. One of them is gonna be using these beauties right here. These are Hawaiian style scallions, okay? Also known as green onions, okay? Green onions. I love them. Look at the length of our Hawaiian green onions in comparison to some you'll see on the mainland. This is really, I love these green onions here. Really, really great flavor. So sometimes there's always a rubber band on it. Now, you want to remove that before you start chopping, okay? Because that'll end up in the food and some will end up eating it. This is not good eats. It's actually considered what's called a physical hazard. A physical hazard. There's several kinds of hazards in the kitchen that you learn when you go through culinary school. One of them is physical hazard, and there's chemical hazards where you have cleaning solutions and whatnot in the kitchen. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this off, okay? This would be another physical hazard, any dirt or root, not good eats, so we're going to just trim all that off. I did wash these already, so what I'm going to do is I am going to bisect these down the thicker part like that, okay? Notice how I bisected those. I don't want such a big giant hunk of green onion in this. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut these all four of these onions. Okay, so now one of the things I always teach new chefs, or one of the things that really bugs me in commercial kitchens or a professional kitchen, if you will, is when new chefs will do things one at a time. Okay, it makes me nuts. Okay, because we don't have that kind of time for you to do stuff one at a time in a commercial kitchen. You got work to do and you got to get going. Okay, get going. So hurry up. So I used to work with a chef at Lake Cordon Bleu. His expression was always, do it quick fast, quick fast. So I'm going to do quick fast. I'm going to break it in half now. I've doubled my size there, and I'm just going to run through it. I'm just going to give these a nice little choppy chop. Okay, choppy chop. Now, that was 4 super long scallions or green onions. Some people call them green onions, but they're really scallions. Definitely an onion family. Okay, loose cousin to garlic. Again, keep my fingers out of the way. And one of the things I always tell a new person with a knife is when you're cutting, sometimes it's hard and you get in a habit of cutting across your body like this. It's very uncomfortable. So I'll tell a new person with a knife is always square up to your cutting board. It makes life a lot easier when you open up this way. It's almost, I would always teach knife skills almost like a batting instructor of somebody hitting. It's the same thing of cutting. It's you're looking down your knife this way. It makes life a little bit easier for you. So that's great. That's all ready to go. Nice chopped up green onion. There we go. Great. We'll wipe down our board. Very good. Now, to make this scallion pancake, I've got about 3/4 of a cup of flour right here. 3/4 of a cup of flour. Okay. Very, very simple, straightforward. This is not one of those, again, serious gourmet foods. It's more of a peasant dish. Really, if you look at how many ingredients are in it, okay? I can actually remember the first time I actually had this scallion pancake. It was about 1993, 94, when I was a full head of hair young man. I was in my former life, and we had a lot of business in Japanese Town in downtown Los Angeles, and there was a little place called the Mandarin Deli, and me and my business associates would always go in and have lunch there. And the first time I ever ate these pancakes, it was like, wow, those are really delicious. But I thought to myself then, long before culinary school, way before culinary school, I thought to myself, I could actually make those. And I actually found a recipe, and one of the very first things that I ever cooked on my own, in my own kitchen, was these scallion pancakes. So it kind of brings back a lot of memories back to a lustful hair me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this. Okay, a little bit of salt. And this is one of the stars of the show. This is actually sesame oil. Let's go ahead and start our oil and get that going too while we're talking about that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my little easy bake oven. Come on. Then we're just gonna put you right down there then, if you're gonna be that finicky. Should have been done in pre-production. There we go. Always test your machines pre-production. Once again, I missed the pre-production meeting. Little drinky poo. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil to coat the bottom of this pan. I'm not gonna saturate it super high. I just want it barely coating the bottom of the pan. There we go. That's great. We're just gonna let that go. That's gonna cook up. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in my sesame oil. How much, you may ask? I'm going to go ahead and start with about 3 teaspoons full. Make it 4. Okay, make it 4. Then I have my green onions. I think the recipe called for about a half a cup. Okay. Now, as I teach with everything, if you like it a little bit more scallion-y, is that a word? If you like it with more scallions, go for it. If you like it with a little bit more sesame oil zing to it, go for it. Okay. That's great. So I'm going to take right here, I'm going to take a little egg, crack it, in you go. That's going to give it a little bit of body, a little protein structure, a little bit more structure to this. Okay, so you can see it already. It's already starting to just get wet, so I'm not going to need a whole heck of a lot of milk, right? Again, like I've been teaching you guys, this is about a visual. I'm looking with my eye, and I'm adding in enough of what I need. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of milk. And you notice how I do it in increments. I don't just go and dump all of it in all at one fell swoop. I give it a little bit of chance to go there. Okay, now today's recipes, guys, are going to be super duper easy. This one I'm actually doing right now. This is going to be on our new takeout and delivery menu coming up here at Papakona. This is actually going to be on our menu for our May 16th Saturday delivery. It's going to be actually a Korean short rib with a fried rice, and we're going to also serve it with these scallion pancakes. And that is going to actually go up online. We're going to have our website built. Hopefully it's going to be done before this weekend, but for sure you'll be able to go online Monday and place your order for any of our new meals that we're working on here at Papakona. Okay, so I'm kind of liking the consistency of that. Okay, I'm going to go for a little bit. It's a little bit too much of a plop. I'm going to add just a touch more liquid, just a touch more. Watch, just a touch, not a lot. Okay. Remember, it's harder to take away liquid. Then if I went too overboard on liquid, I can correct it back the other way with more flour. However, that has a tendency to make it really like heavy, like a brick, if you will. Okay, we're not looking for a brick in texture. Okay, that's great. I could actually let that rest just a little bit, but I'm not going to let it rest. I'm going to go ahead and rip right through this and get these going. Okay, so I double check to see if my oil's hot. I can actually just take a little bit of the batter. Now another good thing you can do, and okay, so it's not quite bubbly enough, but what I can do right now is I'll do what's called a tester. Okay, a little tester right here. I'm going to get that going. A little tester going. So why a little tester? Well, I'm going to make sure that my seasoning is really good. So this is a good way to cheat, to make sure that hey, does this taste really perfect? Is everything spot on? So when I taste it, I'll know, does it have enough ginger? Does it have enough of the scallion? I forgot that. Here, ginger. A little bit of powdered ginger going in there. That's just another dimension of flavor into the batter. See? A little bit of ginger. Okay, that's great. I'm going to go ahead and drop these down. I'm confident in my flavor ability. So we're just going to take a little spoonful out. These aren't big, gigantic pancakes. I'm just going for little, nice little guys like this. I'm going to go with 3. Nice drop. Okay, very good. It's looking good. Okay, excellent. So I'm just going to let those go. And now we'll turn our attention to our second dish. Okay, so our second dish is actually, this is my mashed potatoes from last night. I'm going to go ahead and just let those cook right now and get nice and cooked. And I'm going to turn my attention to these mashed potato pancakes and get this done. Now, this is supposing that last night you had potatoes for dinner, okay, and these are leftovers. This is just one of those things that you can do with your leftovers as something really creative and fun, okay? It's not going to be a whole lot of ingredients. I've got a little bit of sour cream there, and I've got some ham, some chopped ham. Kind of always my star. I always like ham. How much? Again, as I've been telling you guys, add enough to what you think is going to be enough, and if you want to add more, then you go for it. You add some more. I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of sour cream. Okay, a little bit of sour cream. Keeping my eye over here on those. I'm going to go ahead and add some of these green onions in there. And I'm going to save some of these green color tops for my garnish at the end. So I've got that. I've got a little onion powder and a little garlic powder combo. Again, you guys can add any of these seasonings that you like. I'm going to add a little salt, and I got a little pepper, and there we go. And I'm just going to merely mix that up. I'm going to go ahead and take an egg, go ahead and beat that in there. And I'm hoping you guys are seeing once again that these are really, really simple, straightforward dishes. It's a lot of how other cultures sometimes operate. It's funny, I was thinking about, I was kind of going to do this as a tribute to my father show. My dad always had a threat that he was going to make breakfast. And mind you, my father was LAPD, not much of a cook. I don't think he ever cooked anything, ever. But he'd always threatened that he was going to make mashed potato pancakes when I was a little kid. And it was just a horror to hear Dad's going to cook and Dad's going to make mashed potato pancakes because it was the only thing he knew how to cook. It was one of those Army things or Navy things, I don't know. But I kind of thought of my dad when I was going through this recipe today. So I've got that. I got the egg in there. Now I'm going to also add just a little touch of flour. Just a little touch. I'm going to go ahead and add in about 1-2 teaspoons of flour. That's going to add a little bit of binder to it. It's going to give it a little bind. Let's check our little cakes. There we go. That one's not quite where we wanted it. That first one was spot on. Get over. Get off him. Get off of him. There we go. So, in the parlance of our times, golden brown and delicious. Golden brown and delicious. Don't forget, that's what we're always going for. That's gorgeous right there. So again, I didn't mind my pan by rotating around enough, so I had hot spots, but that's okay. We'll work with it. And I'm going to go back here to this mashed potato pancake, and I'm going to add just a touch of milk. And it's really more of a potato cake, if you will, than it is a pancake. Again, I'm really just trying to get some flavors and some nuance into those potatoes. It's really just a great way for you to get an extra meal out of something that you did the night before. That's great. It's great budgeting. You know, it's a great way to stretch your food budget. Let's get all this out of the way now. There we go. And I know that there's raw egg in this, okay? Again, You guys can't try this at home. You can try it before you put the egg in, but very good. Needs a little salt. I'm gonna give it a little salt. I'm gonna give it a pinch more of this garlic onion powder mix. There we go. So I've got a nice clean towel here. I'm gonna get ready for my beautiful scallion pancakes to come off. I'm gonna go ahead and take this one off. He's done. He's my tester. This is definitely done. So let's see how. We'll let those go for just a couple more seconds. Now, turn our attention back over here. And once again, I'm just gonna go ahead and cook these simultaneously. Go ahead and drop that right down. I'm gonna pat it down a little bit. Now, I don't know who's out there is a fan of breakfast for dinner. I'm a super big fan of breakfast for dinner. If you've never done it or if you don't know what that means, it basically means just what it sounds like, breakfast for dinner. So basically you do a breakfast dish and you eat it for dinner. Kids love it. Kids really love breakfast for dinner. That's one of those things. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 of those. Put that down underneath there and save that for lunch. This out of the way. So let's turn our attention while that's cooking. I've got a little accoutrement that I'm gonna have go with it. Accoutrement. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these off. They're not spot on golden brown and delicious, but they're close enough for government work. Okay, that's great. I'm gonna just let those sit right there. Check my potato pancakes. Trying to make sure that they don't stick. Very good. Just gonna let those cook. There we go. Trying to make sure it keeps into a nice patty formation for me. Kind of packing it together. Okay, see how I'm giving it a shake, guys? I'm giving it a shake actually to make sure that it's moving and not sticking on the bottom, okay? Giving it a shake to make sure it doesn't stick on the bottom. These probably could have used maybe a little bit more binder, it's looking like. We'll see what happens. Probably could have used another egg, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Let's go ahead and make our sauce for our scallion pancakes. So I'm going to take a little bit of this sweet chili sauce. This is just the regular old sweet chili, more of a Vietnamese culture sauce, if you will. And I'm going to cross it with a little bit of soy sauce. Very simple, very easy, but it's actually a nice dimension of flavor. Get my plate ready. I'm going to go ahead and put that right on the center of the plate. Actually, I think I'm going to go with the oblong. It's going to be prettier. Oh yeah. It's funny how sometimes vision like that changes something. Very good. Those are starting to set up. See, it's sticking a little bit right here. Make sure it doesn't stick. Okay, great. Let those continue. So I'm going to take my 3 prettiest ones and put that one on the bottom and put it this way. 2 and 3. Go ahead and hit it with a little bit of green onion right on top as a garnish. And there we go. These are the scallion pancakes. Green onion scallion pancakes. Those are fantastic. Okay, so let's check back over here. Back on our mashed potato pancakes. I've really challenged myself. The producer asked me if I had all my tools. I actually don't have my tools. Can you get me a spatula? Can you run down? We're gonna get it real quick. Because it's just so, it's actually very gummy right now. Okay? It's loose, it's really loose. It's not binding a whole lot. because I had all those extra ingredients in there and a little bit of that sour cream. So what's happening is it's kind of separating, so it's going to need a solid bottom versus my spoon. I'm going to definitely need a little bit more surface area to get underneath it. That way I'll pick the whole thing up in one fell swoop. I want to make sure that I'm getting that golden brown on the bottom though too. That's also critical. So I'm continuing to give it a little bit of a shake. And I'm also pushing it together and making sure it maintains its shape and its integrity. And again, this is just cooking, you know. Sometimes things happen when you're cooking, and if it makes a left turn on you, and you don't get freaked out, don't flip out. Sometimes in the kitchen, even if you make a mistake, it's like what I refer to as a happy accident. You'll never know. And what do I mean by that? Well, best happy accident that I can give you guys a definition of is a long time ago, a chef was actually baking a chocolate cake, and in so doing, when he baked the chocolate cake, he forgot to put a leavening ingredient into the cake. Okay? Without that leavening ingredient into the cake didn't rise. So what ended up happening? The brownie was invented. Perfect. The brownie was invented. Thank you. I'll go with this one. This is wider. See, look at that, through the magic of TV. Ask and it shall come. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that up, and I'm going to rotate him. Kind of fell apart on me. It's okay. We'll make it happen. Give this one a better turn. Mold it. Excuse my back there. There we go. That's a better one. So I got to turn up this heat. Seems like my heat kind of died on me. That's okay. We'll return over to this one, and we'll make him look prettier too. But always correct things. Always correct things. Never worry. Okay, never worry. There we go. See, and the other beautiful thing is, like I was saying, you never know when the next brownie is going to occur. When is going to be the next great mistake, okay? So while that's going, I'm going to turn my attention. We'll get a little garnish going for that. So I've got here a little ramekin. I've got some butter. I'm going to do what's called a little honey butter. So once again, the beauty of being in Hawaii is your butter softens really great here. It's really easy to get nice softened butter. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of this beautiful honey, some beautiful local honey, and I'm going to add it right into that butter. So we all know the answer to the question. How much honey did you add in, or how much are you going to add in? If you like a lot of honey, make it more honey. Honey. Sounds like a city in Hawaii, right? So what I'm going to do to this honey butter is I'm going to actually add, I don't know if you can see this right here. This is called cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper, very, very hot pepper. Okay, so I'm just going to put in a skosh, if you will, a skosh, because I want to give it a little bit more dimension than just the sweet. Sweet and hot together sometimes is a dynamite combination. Okay, that's great. Get that out of the way. Double check our cakes here, see how they're looking. Oh yeah, this one, it got a little bit more solidified. Okay, it's okay. We'll make it happen. I'm going to let that bottom cook good, because I'm going to probably invert it onto the plate, because I'm guessing that bottom side is going to be a prettier presentation side. Okay. I'm going to drain it over here real quick. Okay. I'm going to flip it this way. It's okay. We'll go ahead and take this guy off too. I'm going to drain him over here too. Go ahead and turn off my heat. Now again, a little bit of golden brown and delicious happening. And actually stack them right into the center here. Go ahead and wipe down my plate. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of this honey butter. Watch it kind of melt through. So this is going to give it a little sweet and hot kick to it. Okay. And then I'll do what's called, I've always liked this culinary term. I've actually called this a scare, okay? What is a scare? I'll show you what a scare is. You dip your finger, all that's on your finger, that's a scare. It's my own invention, I should have trademarked it. But I've been saying that for years. I like how the butter's melting off, that looks good. Give it a little bit more cayenne. What the heck, I'll get some decorating the plate. I've got to go downwind. There we go. Got to play the wind here in Hawaii sometimes. Once golf should be opening up soon. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit this one too with a little green onion as well since it's savory, yeah? Why not? So, let's put the proof in the pudding here, huh? Let's give them a taste. I'm going to go ahead and try these green onion ones first. Go ahead and take a piece off here. Looks good. Texture looks good. Nice and scallion-y. Love it. Let's dip it. That sesame and the scallion flavor, it's so nice and just refreshing. It's different, but really, really delicious. Let's try this. Boy, that's good. You know, the honey butter was actually a really nice call. It actually added a really nice sweetness to the potato. And you get the softness of the potato and a little bit of that crunch. Really, really tasty. That's actually really, really tasty. I'm really impressed with that. May not have been the most pretty pancake, but hey, sometimes you don't get judged on pretty. Try take it from an ugly guy. All right, so visit our website, papakona.com. We're going to be posting everything really, really quickly and relaunching. It's going to be actually a brand new website. New with all the bells and whistles and everything you can want in a website and then some. All of our menus will be up there. Any information on what's happening food service wise. Also, please visit me on Monday, 10 a.m. And next week, Tuesday and Thursday, Tommy and Rachel in our bar series. Watch them continue to cook or make some delicious drinks. If they're cooking drinks, then we got problems. then you'll hear from my union rep. I'm the only one who should be cooking in this kitchen. All right, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Everyone stay safe and mahalo.